Hi, today I will explain about open-ended lab Bernoulli's theorem. So this is the lab number 2 for EDJ28003 Thermo-Fluids. For open-ended lab, so you need to come up with your own lab module as well as the result. Okay, so you can see here, I will only give you the objective. The objective for lab number 2 open-ended lab on Bernoulli's theorem is you need to create an experiment to investigate the validity of Bernoulli's equation. You need to understand what is Bernoulli's equation. We already learned in the lecture. You already know what is Bernoulli's equation and how we can use it with continuity equation to calculate something. Okay, so you need to investigate the validity of the Bernoulli's equation when applied on the steady flow of liquid or gas. So you need to you need to find an experiment which is related to Bernoulli's equation to investigate a steady flow of liquid or gas. Okay, in your proposed experiment, you need to propose an experiment. And the second one, to compare the experimental parameter with the theoretical parameter for the measurement. So you need to come up because some you can use formula to calculate and some you can measure using the measurement tools. So you need to compare the experimental parameters. So just select one. So if it's the time, so you just use a formula to calculate the time. Then you take the real time measurement. Okay, so you need to record everything. So you need to do a comparison. So that are the two objectives for this second lab. So some of the instructions you can see this instruction in your lab module. Okay, the first instruction, you are required to choose the appropriate experiment for Bernoulli's equation. So there are so many um, experiments for Bernoulli's equation. Okay, in the internet you can find out so many. So try to find something that you can replicate in your house or in your hostel. Okay, something that is simple but is defining the Bernoulli's equation. And this lab report will be evaluated individually. Okay, so it's not a group one. It will be evaluated individually, and since it's open-ended lab, you will get 5 marks for this lab alone. So really, if you really want to get good grade, so you need to really focus on open-ended lab. And make sure the experiment can be conducted using available material and set up at home. Okay, so since you are in the home now, you can try to find something in your house related to thermofluid and something that related to Bernoulli's equation. So please don't buy any materials or setup. Okay, so don't go to Shopee or online platform to buy things. So we don't want you to spend money. Okay, so for thermofluid, there are so many things that uh, is related which is available in the house. Okay, so try to be creative, try to think something. So please don't buy. Some of the application are given in the lecture notes. You also can refer back to the lecture notes for some of the application and you try to see whether you can duplicate or you can go to internet. You can go to YouTube. Try to find some suitable experiment with the Bernoulli's equation in order to replicate it back. Okay, then the third instruction is you are required to create a laboratory model. Okay, for open-ended lab, you need to come up with the lab module as well as the result. So try to come up with the lab modules with all these details. Okay, all these things must be there. So you can refer to experiment number one, the previous experiment, okay, as a reference. So you can see how the title is written, objective already given earlier. You can refer, I will just write it back. Introduction. So in the open-ended lab, I gave you a short introduction and theory, so you can add more contents to make it longer. Okay, make it longer so then you can list the experiment. So refer back to lab 1 how experimental experiment equipment and also apparatus are listed or drawn. If possible, you try to draw or sketch. Make sure the sketch is understandable. Okay, so come up with the experimental procedure step by step, how you conduct the experiment. Then you need to come up with the result, data and result. So try to tabulate. We use a table if required. And then all the calculation required. Then answer the question given. Okay, so I already gave 3 questions for you to answer in the lab module. Answer the question. Then you try to discuss and also conclude. So these are the things that sections that must be available in your laboratory model and also answer sheet. Okay, for D, so D is the equipment and apparatus. Draw the assembly diagram for the experiment. So refer to lab 1 how to draw the assembly diagram and give the description and specification of the experimental setup. Meaning what is the measurement, so point 1 to point 2 is 10 kN. So try to give all the description and specification, okay, so that I will understand. So you also may use actual photo of the experimental setup dimension. So you can just snap a picture, then you just edit, put the dimension inside. So it will be nice. Yeah, all the assumptions used in the experiment must be presented clearly here. Okay, so in physics experiments, so you always can have assumptions that you can make. So if you have any assumptions, so please write down. Okay, number 5 for E, to prepare a detailed experimental procedure involved from start of to the end of the experiment. So the first statement, you write how you start the procedure, 1, 2, 3 until the end of the experiment. For F, select 2 points in a dynamic fluid flow for analysis. So since Bernoulli's equation, so you need to refer back to the lecture note for what in what state you can apply the Bernoulli's equation. So you select 2 points in a dynamic fluid flow. Based on your understanding of Bernoulli's equation, calculate the velocity, pressure, area, height, flow rate, all. So it's not n, time taken for the flow to complete from point 1 to point 2. You try to be creative how you want to measure the velocity, pressure, area. If you have tools you can use. If not, you can just finish with time taken. Okay, so no problem. Time taken, so you can use time to measure the time so you compare with calculation. So take 5 measurement points based on the various distance, height, and for comparison. You can take different parts of the fluid flow to do comparison. Because why you need 5 points of measurement? Because later on you need to draw the graph. Okay, and you tabulate all the findings. Okay, so this point number 6, I just leave it to you how you can creatively do the experiment. Okay, so measure the time taken for the flow to complete from to the movement from point 1 to point 2 for all the measurement points. Okay, so try to have a different. Let's say you want to measure from point 1 to point 2. So maybe you can have a different height between that. Then you can measure the time taken, and you need to calculate because time taken can be calculated using the formula and also can be measured using your stopwatch. So calculate the error, the measured and also calculate the time and fill the table. So number 8, so draw the graph. Here's a measured time. So I only ask you to draw two graphs based on the time. Here's a measured time versus distance or height. And also calculated time. Try to draw. So you also can combine and draw with different indicators, different dotted line or different colors. So it's up to you. You show all the calculation involved in the experiments or whatever calculation that you have done. So show in the experiment and answer the questions. So I give you three questions. Okay, questions I already given. So try to answer. Okay, so answer all these three questions and what you understand. So depends on the question. Okay, so you answer accordingly. And number 11. So record the whole experimental process and explain briefly in the video itself. What you based on the procedure. So this is what I do first, second, third. And the video no need to be too long. It's only 1 to 3 minutes. Short also is okay. So make sure you talk. So don't give me a silent video. So and please show your face in the recording. So maybe at the beginning of the video you show the face, then yeah, you can you show your face and you explain the procedure. Also can. It will be good. Okay. So this is about all the instruction about the open-ended lab. So I know it's something new for you, but try to do your best. Okay, and the time I don't give you a shorter time. I give you half semester for you to submit. So you are only required to submit this lab report and also the final output of the open-ended lab, okay, in a report form, okay, at the final week number 14. Okay, now you are in week number 8. Okay, so next week will be week number 8. Okay, so you are in the mid-term break. Okay, so you have around 7 weeks to complete. This I will also give open-ended lab for lab number 4, e-transfer together with this, okay, so that you can manage your time to do and submit. Okay, so thank you so much.